The first 3 weeks of the New York Jets season is in the books. The Jets come out of these 3 games in 11 days with a record of 2-1. However, there are some injuries. What were the biggest takeaways from the Jets' first 3 games? Who better to bring on to talk all things New York Jets than New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com and Jets content creator Paul Boy Green Esden Jr. It's a Saturday morning edition of NY Flight Jets Talk, and we are live.
Jets, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today? ESPN writer Mr. Rich Samini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer and Jets legend Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
Welcome in, everyone. We are here for a Saturday morning edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. I hope everyone enjoyed Victory Friday yesterday. Boy Green and I were both at the game, so let's bring him on. We'll bring him on right now. Paul Boy Green Esden Jr., New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com, also New York Jets content creator. Boy Green, met you for the first time. We met up at the tailgate. First off, how are you today, and how was the game?
Oh, it was awesome. And shout out to you and your dad. It was cool to meet your dad for the first time, too. And just we're talking Jets in the parking lot. I mean, it was, again, picturesque. We talked a little bit about this on Boy Green Daily this morning, that there's not much more that could have gone right. Sure, the Jets could have put up a few more points here or there. Mike Williams had that touchdown drop, and there was this, that, or the other where you could have the missed field goal at the end of the first half. So, there are points where you could have been in the 30s or 40s for the Jets. But still, I mean, you blew out the Patriots. I'm nitpicking a little bit there, obviously. But yeah, things went awesome. The experience was cool. It was great to meet you. It was great to meet your dad. It was great to meet all the awesome fans that make all this possible. So yeah, I'm blitzkrieging, baby. We got Boy Green Daily. We got NY Flight Jets Talk. We got Jake Asman today. I mean, it is we're going full court press, baby, on all things New York Jets. And there's nothing I love more. 2-1 for the first time since 2015 feels pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. My final score prediction, I had the Jets coming out 31-10. So I had the Jets adding another touchdown, and then I had the Patriots actually scoring a touchdown. But the Jets defense ended up holding them to just 3 points. I like the way 3 looks on the scoreboard, rather 10, held them under double digits. I wanted some way for the Jets to get 4 more points, maybe bring back a little 28-3, but I guess that's not too great because the Patriots did end up coming back. But I think that would be somewhat of a cool thing. But Boy Green, you ready to get right into it?
Yeah, yes, sir. Let's roll.
Let's do it. So obviously, first week of the season for the Jets was a really interesting matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. Definitely was not what fans wanted to see. Week 1, they ended up losing 32-19. Really was only in the receiving game. It was Garrett Wilson, Al Mazard, and Brees Hall. Those were the only 3 players out. Aaron Rodgers completed a pass to. We see someone like Mike Williams, eased him back into the system week 2. 1 catch for 19 yards. Then we saw him get several receptions against the Patriots. You did mention he had that touchdown drop, though. Boy Green, these first 3 weeks of the season are in the books. When do we see Mike Williams become a regular part of this team's offense?
I mean, we're seeing it. Again, week 1, you see him, like we saw him, his human body on the football field, but nothing happened. Week 2, we get the big catch, the 19-yarder on the second and long play. We're like, oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. And then this game, 3 catches for 30 yards and some odd change, and he had some cool, the back shoulder throw from Rodgers was special. To me, it's this incremental action. To me, I think where we see full Mike Williams, quite frankly, is week 4. It's coming up. It's the Denver game. We've got a 10-day gap from the Thursday night football game to the next game up against Denver. I think, to me, that's where we're getting the flip. That's where we're getting some more juice, because we're getting more time and effort and everything from Mike Williams as he gets ready to get this thing rolling. So to me, I think we're going to see it here in week 4 against the Broncos. Now, will the Jets, in the same similar way to this Patriot game, do we need to see Mike Williams go off to beat the Broncos? Probably not. Denver sucks, so you probably won't need Mike Williams to go off. But I think you will see the snap count continue to increase and hopefully get some ops, because I imagine Aaron Rodgers won't be finishing this game because Tyrod Taylor will probably be in because the Jets are going to blow the barn doors off Denver.
I'm gonna throw a bit of a wild card here at you,
Ooh,
Braylon Allen.
wild
We
card.
saw
Okay.
nothing out of him in week 1, only garbage time. Week 2, great game out of him. In week 3, another incredible performance out of him. His final line, he had, just an overall incredible performance. 11 carries, 55 yards, and then we saw him in the receiving game, 3 catches for 13 yards. His ability to rip off these huge runs, his ability to just get yardage in short yard situations, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. That's where they use him. Boy Green, from what you've seen out of him, his game, do you think he could possibly be in contention long term for Rookie of the Year?
Wow, that one would be we'd have to see. That's bold. I like it. I like the chutzpah there, Connor. That's
Right.
I like how you're operating. I'll tell you, it's just great to see him. To be honest, right off the top to start there, he led the team in rushing. He had more rushing yards than Brees Hall did. That's crazy to me. Like Braylon Allen, man, he is just a beast. He brings someone different. He always falls forward. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. If I'm a defender, I'm thinking twice about business decisions, whether or not I want to tackle him because he's so big and brutish in nature. If we're being honest, probably not. We'll see. Rookie quarterbacks obviously have the lean in to get it. Braylon, if I'm being honest, in
Mhm,
2 rounds,
absolutely.
first off, it's very difficult for a backup running back to do it. Number two,
Exactly.
Brees Hall would have to get hurt for
Mhm.
Braylon to get the full operations. And if he did, no one's rooting for that, of course. Then sure, right, there would be an opportunity in this offense for Braylon to eat up a ton of usage in a lot of different facets. But because of how this offense is, and that he at best is always going to be second fiddle, outside of something crazy happening, no, I would probably say not. But you know what? You don't even need him to be. This is like one of the best fourth round picks the Jets have had in a long time. And I said this at MetLife Stadium to fans that I was just running into. The Jets, this has happened before, Connor. I don't even remember if you were born for this one, but I'm pretty sure you were. You were like 3. You're a little baby as this happened, all right? There has been players that the Jets had drafted in the 4th round in April that didn't make the team months later. Jalen Saunders comes to mind as a
Yes.
wide receiver, and I think that was part of the INSEC 12 that was drafted 4th round and didn't even make the team. So we've seen 4th round picks before have 0 to negative impact. So for this guy who was at the end of the 4th round, and all these guys passed on him, I love the Braylon Allen tweet too. He said that people overreacted to the combine and him running around in underwear is why he believes he fell all the way to the end of the 4th round. And I love the chutzpah, like the kid. He's a kid, just like you, Connor. I guess like you're just so young, and so is he. You know, it's just been incredible. So rookie of the year is probably too outlandish. It's probably too enthusiastic to get something like that. But to be honest, you don't need that. The fact that he is being able to take some of the wear and tear off Brees is going to extend Brees Hall's shelf life. It's going to extend Braylon Allen's shelf life. When the Jets wanted to control the game, that's what Robert Sauer said after the game. The Patriots were coming off an overtime affair. So being able to run up a lot of plays and gas them out early was massively important. So rookie of the year, probably not. But you know what? Braylon Allen is going to be a big piece of this offense moving forward. He's one of the best guys on this offense where you get the ball in his hands. And I'm surprised that I'm saying that if you would have told me that months ago.
Absolutely. Everyone smash that like button on both channels. Make sure you are subscribed to both channels. Boy Green's, of course, at BoyGreen25. Mine, NY Flight Jets Talk. We appreciate the memberships. If you'd like to become a member, the link is in the description below. Super chats as well. If you want to send a super chat, click the $sign on the bottom right corner of your screen. I completely agree with what you're saying there. I mean, Braylon Allen, you look at him, he's a day 3 pick, almost fell to the 5th round. What I like about him, I've said it time in and time out, is the power that he brings to the table, but he also has speed. He also has speed. It's not like he's a liability there. So, pair him and Brees Hall together, I think it's going to be, incredible this season. And someone who's, a rookie running back as well, Jets drafted this year, Isaiah Davis, 3 carries for 6 yards it was against the Patriots. I think the biggest thing for Davis is, being able to find the field, because Davis, I think he has a lot of talent. The question is, how will the Jets utilize him? What do you expect out of Davis as the season goes on?
Right now, he's on Connor's C team in terms of YouTube membership. So he needs to work his way up to get to B or A. But it's kind of the same way, and I'm sure we might get to this later, but like Olu Fashanu, right? He was cryogenically frozen, and we weren't going to see him unless an injury happened that would launch him into the lineup. It's the same thing for Isaiah Davis, if we're being real. Like, he is cryogenically frozen. Outside of these scenarios where he's getting Garbaggio time, where it's a blowout, again, maybe Denver or some of these is where he will get carries over a Brees or over a Braylon and give him rest. Yeah, it's going to be hard for him. He's a talented dude. I liked him as an individual. Again, I was surprised when the Jets doubled it to running back. Like, whoa, okay, that kind of caught me off guard. Like, if Isaiah Davis was the only one they grabbed, they would have been like, oh, okay, I saw it. When they grabbed the Whip Braylon, I was like, that seems weird. But obviously, the Jets have a plan here, and it's better to have these insurance policies where you have guys ready to go. So that part of the equation is incredibly exciting to know if anyone were to go down. Okay, I feel good about Isaiah. Someone goes down on a line. Okay, Olu Fasho. Okay. And you go through the lineup. They have a lot of these depth options, which is a bit unique to the Jets because they haven't always been in that position with a roster this rich. So Isaiah, same sort of thing. He's going to need an injury probably to pop, but it's nice to know that we have that in reserves waiting if we ever need it.
I'm going to move to the pass rush, Boy Green. You see Jermaine Johnson tore his Achilles. He underwent successful surgery late last night, posted on his Instagram story. That's what you want to see. That's great. Super happy to hear he's okay. Hassan Reddick still hasn't reported to Florham Park, but Will McDonald, he is the talk of the town right now. 5 sacks over the last 3 games. He had 3 sacks last season, second most in the league so far. This McDonald expectations, obviously fans raised their eyebrows when the Jets selected him in the first round. Didn't bring much to the table in his rookie season. We're seeing a lot out of him, though, to start his sophomore campaign. Are you confident with riding with McDonald's, McKinley, Clemens, etc. for the rest of the season? Or do you think it is vital that the Jets get Hassan Reddick in the building or possibly target someone like Yannick Ngakoue? Because I know you put a column out about that for Heavy.com.
I did. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't feel confident with this group. And it's not an insult. Like, Will McDonald has been friggin' awesome.
Yes.
I mean, you said the stats. He's looked great. Blitzing more. Again, that was, if the Jets would ask me my game plan choice heading into the Patriots game, it was blitz a lot. And they certainly did that. So I appreciate Ulbrich being a fan of Boy Green Daily and being a coffee club member, because that's obviously how that information arrived at his doorstep. Blitzing more. So there are ways to overcompensate for the fact that you don't have the talent that you did months ago. There's ways to do that, blitzing and getting unique creative pressure looks and things of that nature, and facing the right offenses to do the right things, like Bo Nix facing a rookie next week. I think the Jets are going to dig into the bag, and Bo Nix is going to see things he's never seen in his life before, is what's going to be happening in week 4. So I like the pass rush team. I'm obviously a massive Michael Clemens fan. I love Solly. I think so many people underrate a lot of these guys this year. Javon Kinlaw deserves love. Solly deserves love. Will McDonald obviously has been spectacular. Tack McKinley's been a lot slower than I think a lot of us would have thought heading into the season, which maybe speaks to why he's kind of bounced around a little bit, that we haven't seen that same juice he had in his first 2 years in the league. So hopefully he eventually gets some of that same flavor he had in camp. But no, I like the unit. I think you can do things where you blitz or do other things where it can be competent and very nice, and you have leads and there you look even better. But let's be honest, if the Jets want to win the Super Bowl, and I think they have an opportunity to do that with this roster and how Aaron Rodgers looked and everything else, you're going to need Hassan Reddick. Now, we're in this awkward phase. It seems like a perfect time would be today. Connor, as you mentioned, is Saturday. We're live here on the show, September 21st. Yeah. Tomorrow, September 22nd. Now is this unique mini bye where you could bring in Reddick in theory and start getting him ready. And I don't know if he signed today, what would he look like for the Denver game? I don't know. But I don't even care about that. It's not even about that game. It's about getting him ready for week 5, potentially Vikings in London, week 6, Buffalo. Like, there are some dogs coming up, the Houston Texans Halloween game. Like, there are some games coming up like, oh, baby, it would behoove us to have a pass rusher of Hassan Reddick's caliber. And Hassan is just lighting money on fire right now. So hopefully there is a happy medium where the Jets say, Hassan, we need you. And you probably need to stop lighting money on fire because your landlord's not appreciating it. Can we find some sort of intermediate place in the middle and find this thing? And just for the season, say, go get your bag somewhere else if you want. But you're a hired hitman. Let's kill it this year, and then you're going to get paid by somebody. I think they do need Hassan Reddick. I will be honest.
Absolutely. We will get to your calls shortly, but before we do so, I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball, Boy Green. Okay. I'm going to move over to the linebacker position. Jamie and Sherwood, increased role against the Titans and then against the Patriots. He has played great, taking advantage of CJ Mosley as he's dealing with this toe injury. If you're Robert Saleh, what do you tell Mosley?
Yeah, because it looks like Moses is going to be ready for the Broncos game by all accounts. Outside of swelling that happens at the beginning of next week, they're going to test him out, obviously, at the beginning of the week for practice. And if the swelling's down, Mosley is supposed to return to the lineup. And the tough part of this equation is Mosley is the team captain. He's a leader. He just took this massive pay cut this offseason, but in a way guaranteed his future because he's on the team this year, obviously, and he's on the team next year. If you look at the salaries, they would have to do all kinds of weird backflips to get rid of Mosley outside of eating a bunch of dead cap, which makes no sense. So Mosley's here realistically for this season and next season. Then his contract is gone. He's a free agent after that. I think while Nick Ferry joined my show earlier the week, said, "Oh, maybe they should just bench him straight up for Jamian." And while that's a whoa column, I think maybe it's the rotation. And that's kind of how you sell it to Mosley. Is you say, Mosley, you got this toe thing. We don't want to make it worse than it is. It's a great politically correct thing to tell us. Hey, man, we're working him back. But you keep utilizing Jamien Sherwood, who you feel great about. Jamien Sherwood's in a contract year. He's going to be a unrestricted free agent. You're not using a franchise tag on Jamien Sherwood. So, damn, what do you do with him? If you just go immediately back to Mosley and say, Sherwood, go back to the bench where you belong, buddy boy. He's like, okay, this season's over. I'm gone to the high hills. So it's a balance. And I think a rotation is the right answer. Quincy is the guy. We know Quincy is awesome, but I think it's rotating CJ and Jamian and maybe giving a 60-40 split and just kind of working them back. And then maybe it's just kind of a constant rotation with these guys. They've played a lot more, base 4-3 than I thought this season. Like, we get Michael Carter the second on the field a lot. Again, the Jets' base formation is 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. But when you have Michael Carter the second on the field, that third linebacker comes off. There's been a lot of Sherwood early on. He's playing the highest amount of defensive snaps he's ever played. And obviously, because CJ Mosley is hurt. But if you even take that away, he was rotating a lot in San Francisco too. So you look at some of these numbers, it looks like they are really trying to get Jamian more involved.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Everyone smash that like button. You are subscribed to both channels. Jamian Sherwood, Boy Green. It's been these past few seasons where it's like, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year where Sherwood takes off. Hasn't happened in these first 3 weeks now of the season. I guess we didn't see him a lot during week 1. These past 2 weeks, we've seen a ton out of him. He's looked great. I'm really looking forward to see what the Jets do with his contract. But we had a caller on the line, but he actually just left the studio. We are
goodbye. Hello. Goodbye.
I guess we'll keep it going. You mentioned Nick Ferrier there.
Yes.
His thoughts on the Sherwood thing. I'm going to move back over to the Reddick situation. I know you put something out. I know. Before we do that, we do have the caller back, so we will.
Okay.
So we'll get into Reddick after, but we have the caller on the line. We'll go to Sharif Ali. Sharif, how you doing?
How y'all brothers doing? Hey, Boy Green, I'm literally trying to get on to your thing, man. I told you I know how to plumb a whole house, but when it comes to this computer stuff, bro, I'm the dumbest dude on earth, bro. It is so frustrating. I've been literally since I got up to trying to find to subscribe. I subscribe to you, but how to become a member.
Yes. Yes. Hey, Sharif, by the way, I'll figure this out right now. What are you on? Are you on Twitter or Instagram? Where are you at?
I'm on IG as Chief Al Sharif, or either Company Man.
And you said you want to become a member to my channel or Boy Green's, you said?
Boy Green. Well, honestly, what I wanted to tell y'all, I follow all of y'all, bro. Like, I've been a Jets fan. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I was born a Jets fan. I was born in Long Island, raised in Newark. It's always been Giant. My family, a Giants family. You feel me? So I love the Giants too. But I had to be in secret for a long because the Jets always felt short. But I always loved the colors, the struggle. Everything about the Jets, I love the Jets and I identify more with Newark because we got a semi-pro team we used to call the Newark Jets, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had one of my coaches used to coach the Newark Jets when I played football in high school. So
love it.
I wanted to tell Boy.
Yep.
Actually, 1 second. So Sharif, give me your Instagram handle one more time.
Put in Chief Al Sharif.
Okay, Chief Al Sharif.
If that don't come up, it should be Company Man. Both of them usually come up.
Oh, I think here we go. Okay, here's
It's
what
gonna
I'm
be a
gonna
picture
do.
of my father, military picture. That's my
Oh
father.
wow! Oh, that's a great. Yeah, it's both military children. I feel you. So I will make sure after the show I will show you how to join. I'll DM you. I just
All
followed you on
right,
Instagram, and
my
we'll
man,
figure
my
it out after.
man. And to answer your question, young man, like man, you so mature, man. God bless you, bro. Like young men like you, I appreciate you, bro. But like all you guys, man, Asman show. I watch all of y'all, bro. I go every day. Even my lady be like, all you want to do is watch the football guys. Like I go on there and I like y'all stuff but I want to subscribe to you first on the simple fact that you let me in the box without spending money. And I respect that. No disrespect to nobody else on how they operate, but that's why I'm going to do yours first. And then as my money get right, I'm going to be with all of y'all. I want to eventually link up with y'all. I'll be in New York a lot.
I love that,
Um,
man, and
Yeah,
let's do it.
Sharif, we appreciate it. What were your thoughts on Thursday night's game? Obviously, division rival New England Patriots.
it has begun.
Yep.
It has begun. I was premature, so I thought this was going to happen in week one. So I was crushed after week one.
Yes.
We were supposed to play the Niners way better, but because we didn't have preseason games, because we didn't, they didn't really do none but joint practices. They didn't do nothing real physical. They preserved them. So those two games was our preseason games. Now you get to see the Jets that Saleh has built. And this is one thing I wanted to say, man. I want to express this. Stop talking about my boy Hackett and Saleh, especially Saleh. Saleh's a great coach, bro. Nathaniel Hackett is a good offensive coordinator, bro. Rodgers just proved to us how he can implement his whole system. Point blank, period. I got a lot of faith in them. And I believe it being New York and Jersey area, they get so much pressure. It being the Jets and how the media got it out for them all these years. But Saleh, man, you got to always think if it wasn't for Saleh, we wouldn't be talking about the Jets because he created that defense and he created this depth that they have right now. You got to respect him for that. So
Absolutely.
And the offensive side of the ball, if you look, Nathaniel Hackett, he really turned that play calling around. I mean, we saw the Jets offense you're going into that game. The Patriots, yes, you could say they have an okay pass rush, but their secondary is very weak other than Christian Gonzalez over there. So the Jets offense, they called plays, they exploited that. Jets run game, use that to exploit the Patriots' poor run defense. So I think the biggest thing, what it is for this Hackett Saleh group is to just exploit the weaknesses. Because if the Jets are able to do that, they are a 12-13 win team. If the Jets are able to do that week in and week out, they are, obviously without a question, I think they are a playoff team. But I think they can do a lot more than just making the playoffs. That's why
I'm sick of people acting like we are Super Bowl contenders legit. We will be there at the end, bro. Point blank, period. I mean, don't be surprised if they don't lose another game. Who else going to stop us? Look at the schedule. We're about to Minnesota and Buffalo is the two hardest teams. Which is Tua out. Tua gone. Dolphins ain't even a threat no more because they need Tua. Tua's the quarterback that get it to them fast receivers and all them weapons they have. They don't have that no more. So our biggest threat.
Thompson? Who?
Tim Boyle. The Dolphins are one injury away from Tim Boyle starting.
Exactly. See, so man, bro, you already know what Tim Boyle do. He don't even whatever. But I strongly believe that we about to make a historical run. And I think we about to do it back to back.
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah, I strongly believe this is our time, bro. It's our time. It's our time.
Damn straight.
And that two-headed monster we got is ridiculous. They just getting started, fellas.
Love it.
That young man is an animal.
Sharif, we love it. You got any final thoughts?
Nah, man, my final thoughts is you guys stay good. Keep doing what y'all doing, man. And don't give up on the coaching staff, bro. That's a good coaching staff. I'm sick of people bashing them. You know what I'm saying? And go Jets, bro. This our year.
Love it.
Damn straight. Thank you, Sharif. And by the way, I just DM'd you on Instagram, Sharif, so you should see that in there. That is how you join the Boy Green Coffee Club. I know it can be difficult for people, all the technology and this or that, up or down or left or right. So there you go, Sharif. Good to see Sharif on the show. Very nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Before we keep it going with your calls, Boy Green, to kind of piggyback on what Sharif mentioned there about Hackett, Robert Saleh, and I'm gonna include Joe Douglas here. The expectation if the Jets don't make the playoffs, there's no question they are out of this organization. However, let's say the Jets. What do you think it really takes overall for these three faces?
For all of them to be safe no matter what?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
To me, it's making the playoffs and winning a playoff game. To me, I think that makes everybody safe. To me, I'd love additional things beyond that. I'd love to win the division. I think that's up for grabs, especially what Sharif said. We don't know about Tua's status outside that he's gone for 4 weeks at a minimum, and then let's see. I don't know how many games you're going to win with Skylar Thompson. He didn't play at all last year, and then the year before he was in the playoff game when Tua got hurt. So, and then Buffalo, like, I'm ready to buckle the chin. I don't want to skip ahead because I enjoy all these games and talking to everybody, but buckle the chin strap for week 6. I'm ready to play the Buffalo Bills and grab a rusty wrench and beat them over the head with it because it's time for the Jets to seize control of the AFC East, and I feel great about it. So, so to save everybody, guaranteed, no, like, well, if this happens, so the this, and then maybe the happen to weapon the booba. Okay, if they win, if they go to the playoffs and they win a playoff game, everyone's back. I don't give a flying hoot what else happens. Of course. So that's it for me. That's bringing everybody back. If we start saying, well, Paul, what if they're 10-7 and the tiebreaker keeps them out of the playoffs? That's got to be good enough to keep everybody, right? What kind of weird stuff are people into where we're even thinking about these odd and bizarre possibilities? So hell no. Let's just make the playoffs. Let's win a playoff game. Hell, for me, let's win the gosh darn division, have a home playoff game for the first time since 2002, for the first time at MetLife Stadium, have a home playoff game. Like, that's crazy. The Jets have never had a home playoff game at this godforsaken stadium, for Pete's sake, that I was just at a couple days ago.
Absolutely. And I think the Dolphins are at Dolphins right now with this Tua injury. I think at best their quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. They get him, he's a free agent right now. I think that's the best case scenario. So Ryan Tannehill doesn't blow me away with his talent. He's very immobile, and he showed flashes throughout his career, especially earlier on when he was with the Titans. But his past few years in the league, he has not looked great. The Patriots, they're not even in the conversation. You look at the Bills. Yes, they're 2-0 right now, but you look. They played the Cardinals. Yes, the Cardinals have potential, but they're still not an elite team. That game came down to the wire.
The Cardinals should have won. They were the one.
Exactly.
The Cardinals won 17-7 on Buffalo. Buffalo needed the comeback against Arizona.
Exactly. And the talent on the Cardinals, yes, they have a talented roster, but they don't blow me away. They're not an elite team that I would keep my eye on as Super Bowl contenders. And then you look at their second game against the Miami Dolphins, a combination of Tua and Skylar Thompson. Even when Tua was on the field, he didn't look good before the injury even happened. So, I mean, 2 easier matchups that the first week came down to the wire. Their wide receiver scenario scares me as the season goes on when they play strong secondaries like the Jets. So, I think the Jets have a real shot in winning this division. But let's do one more call before we wrap here.
Yeah, baby.
We have Ted joining the show. Ted, how you doing?
Whoa, he's still sculpting that body. Okay, there we go. The physique.
I got dirt on my arms from yard work. It's strictly a yard day.
Okay.
Connor, you and Paul, we were on the post game the other day, and the first thing that we discussed was CJ Mosley's status.
Yes, exactly.
Basically, I don't want to use harsh words. Let's just say we were better with number 44 in there. We could see the speed. We could see the coverage ability. It actually was elevated. So my question is, when and if do you think about signing him, right? Do you want to sign him long term? And because I look at like a Demario Davis, he went on to greener pastures. He's been great. Evidently, Blake Cashman went to the Texans. Became great, got another contract, and now he's balling.
He's in Minnesota with the Vikings now.
Yeah, and he's balling. So, I mean, I'm like, can we get him is he going to be a Bryce Huff where he wants to max out? I would imagine that would be your goal as a player, maybe. But maybe you could get him now and, at a decent contract.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this the other day because other guys that are kind of in my brain, like Brandon Eccles, he's another one that is a free agent, and I'd love to have him back. But it takes 2 to tango, obviously. Like Brandon, do you say, hey, do you want to be corner 4? I don't know. Like, regardless, and obviously the Jets would be limited if they're calling him corner four. They're limited on the money they're offering corner four. And he goes, I
Mhm.
could be corner four here or corner two somewhere else. So, like,
Well, you don't know
those
if
are
DJ's coming back. You don't know if DJ Reed's coming back if they
Well,
sign
yeah,
him.
but I would say Stiggers would be the jump, but maybe it would be Eccles. So
Hmm.
you're right. So maybe I shouldn't gloss over that. I'm assuming that Stiggers would take that role. But right to your point, that like, yeah, sure. If I'm the Jets, that's what I tell them. DJ Reed's a free agent. Who knows? And try to see if that works. But yeah, I was thinking about it, and in my head, I think if you re-sign Jamie Sherwood, he wouldn't get the Quincy deal of 3 years for 18 because that's too rich. But is it 3 years
Yeah.
for like 10? Is it 3 years for like 11? Is it 2 years for 10? Something like that with upside where you're like, hey, we're paying you more than someone would pay you based on your credentials. The credentials are incomplete. He's a really good special teams player that's reserved pop, but I think we know what he can be. So that's why you want to kind of lock him in. That's why the Quincy deal, 3 years, 18 million, is like one of the greatest deals of all time. Highest paid inside linebackers in football are making 20 million a year. Quincy's making 6. So eventually the Grim Reaper's going to be coming, and the Jets got to pay the price of catching up for Quincy to make that jump. I would love to do that. I'd love to be proactive. I hope Douglas considers it because it's a coaching staff love development story of Sherwood from safety to linebacker. It's a Douglas success story of another day 3 pick that's developed into this thing. Yeah, I would love to be proactive, and we're on September 21st. We sign him in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to that deal I'm talking about, somewhere in that like 2 year, 11, 12-ish range, maybe something like maybe even a little lighter. And some of that's incentives. I would love to do it. I'd love to kind of insure ourselves because to allow Jamian to walk to only to say, well, we have CJ Mosley under contract for next year. We got to keep him. Sorry, Jamian. I guess you go. That would be a crime as the rationale for not bringing him back.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Eccles one is really interesting there because you do have some of the younger players, JBC, Qantas, Stiggers. How are they going to develop and find their role in this system, scheme, this Olbrich, solid style defense? But in terms of Eccles, I think he's a starter. He has the potential of being a starter in this league. So he strikes me as someone who's going to want to go and chase that starting role no matter the money. Let's say, hey, I'm making it up. The Jets might offer him more money, but the Panthers need a starting cornerback. He's going to want to take that offer from the Panthers and step into a starting role in this league because I think he clearly has the talent. We saw it in the Titans game, I believe it was, yes, and then we saw it 2 years ago against the Dolphins when he had the 2 interception game. He's a very, very talented player, and I think he is going to go where he is going to, be able to maximize his abilities.
Let me say this real quick. I went into the season hoping we could have a team where we could dictate our off, basically not hide our quarterback. We come out, we are aggressive. This is the first step, right, of being a good team. You have a competent quarterback, you have weapons, you have depth, and then you go out and you smack the bad teams in the mouth, right? So the thing that I'm interested in this weekend is watching, say, the Lions and the Cardinals. Some of these games you want to take a look at and scout these future opponents, because Connor, I have a feeling that the Cardinals may be a little bit better than we think, because Paul and I discussed that on his show earlier.
No, they're
agree.
talented. I just don't think they're the Jets.
Yeah. But you know
They
what? It
have
takes
this.
time.
They have the young
Sometimes it
talent,
takes
though. It's
time.
there. I think Kyler
Yeah.
Murray, you could say he might not have lived up to the number 1 overall pick expectations over the years, but you pair him with a young, talented receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Kyler Murray, he's
Yeah.
a serviceable quarterback in this league. He's able to move, get out of the pocket, make plays, evade pressure. I think that's, one of
Definitely.
the things that I really like about his game. You give him a really talented. He hasn't played with a receiver. I get when he had DeAndre Hopkins, he was a fine quarterback. So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. can do just as big things as DeAndre Hopkins did in his prime of his career. So, I'm not doubting them. I just don't think they're in an elite team or Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take time.
Maybe not yet, but they may be good enough. Maybe a playoff team. They, like Paul said, they should have beat the Bills. I was watching them most of that game. They dominated the Bills, and all of a sudden the switch clicked in for Buffalo. Like, we have to play. And also, the margin of error in winning and losing every week is ridiculous. I mean, you're seeing teams
Yes.
that, oh my God. I don't think I remember seeing teams up and down so much. 1 week, like the Cowboys got lit up. The Lions lost to the Bucks, even though the Bucks may be better than we think. They were good last year. The Bucks may be better than you think.
I mean, there's a lot of
So
upsets that happen every week. I mean, you look
yeah,
in the Ravens are
yep,
0-2 right now, heading into a tough matchup
exactly.
against the Cowboys. The Ravens were in the AFC Championship game last year. But both games have come down to the wire they've played. I mean, literally, talk about a game of inches. You have the Isaiah Likely.
Mhm.
If he's wearing white cleats, I think that is a touchdown. You have the Week 2 game against the Raiders, where they lost 26-23 on a game-winning field goal. That was a field goal fest paired with some touchdowns. So there's a lot of these games could go either way. But Ted, we appreciate the call. You got any final thoughts?
Yeah. Real quick, if we just minimize the penalties, because when you really think about it, a lot of teams that have given up 100 yards in penalties have lost games before. Basically, I've seen plenty of times when the penalties will kill you. We don't have to win impressively. Let's just win. Move on. Paul, you ordering lunch or what? What are you up to?
That's it. That's so funny. That was the order. I got to walk by, and I was getting like baseball signals of like, 2 eggs, two. I'm like,
yeah.
two, great.
Yeah.
And then I was and then I was getting additional hand language that goes beyond the two. All of a sudden, I saw like a signal for I was like, is that a potato? Is that yes? A potato,
Nice.
bacon. I'm trying to negotiate here, so I was doing a little like.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yes,
There you
yeah. That's exactly that was a food order, baby. Woohoo!
There you go. Anyway, real quick, get through these wins. We don't have to blow teams out. Get through healthy.
Absolutely.
Develop our young players along the way, and get everything set for the schedule to get harder. And that's about all I got. Let's just go with that. You guys got lives to live, so I got to go back and
Thanks, brother.
tend to my lawn, unfortunately. Take care, guys.
Appreciate it, Ted. We appreciate the call. NY
Bartending.
Jets, Florida. Ted, he has to go back to do some lawn work. But Boy Green, there's a new member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. And just for this, during the call, I saw it come in, so I had to download the annual Boy Green membership song. Sharif is a member of the channel.
My God, man, Connor had it ready. Okay, so it works. So Sharif, thank you for joining the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's amazing. And I'm glad that it works because I know a lot of people have had trouble with the YouTube membership and how to
On
kind
mobile.
of figure it out. Yeah, right. At mobile, it's a disaster. I really hope the YouTube overlords really look into that. So shout out to Sharif. Thank you for supporting. It's great. And I think this is cool when we open up the phone lines because that's how I met Sharif. Hey, phone lines are open. Call. Anyone can call anywhere on the planet if they want to. So thank you, Connor, for doing that. I really appreciate that. And again, we just get to meet cool new people. And that's what it was for Sharif for a bunch of weeks ago that jumped on the phone lines. Again, we had the phone lines up on both of our channels and they're going through you, Connor. It's the coolest thing in the world to me. It's just, man, it's especially, I don't know how it was for you, Connor, but being there at the stadium,
Yes.
Boy Green. I'm like, yeah, I'm Boy Green. Hey, pictures, this, that, Jets talk. I was yelling all over the parking lot. They got me going on something. Like, Paul, what do you think of this? I'm like, let me tell you what I think of that, buddy. And then someone looked at their wife like, good Lord, he is as loud on the, videos as he is in person. Wonderful. So that was cool. It was cool to meet all the people and all the pictures and all the hanging out and talking and everything. It's humbling. It's awesome. I'm glad that the Jets content we do resonates, Connor. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And before we end here, we actually have a member now of my channel, the Reluctant Earthling has become a member of the YouTube channel. Let's see.
Which one is it? Is it A team or B team?
We have to, going quick, no huddle here, going on the app. It is the A team. So we have another member of Connor's A team. So we appreciate if you'd like to become, join the NY Flight Jets Talk Discord. It is right under the membership tab, as well as Fialco's film reviews. So really, really appreciate you becoming a member here. And Boy Green, we're third.
Real quick, Connor, can I ask you a question? What is the because you're in school and whatnot, you're smart and you're getting your education. What is the reluctant earthling? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm glad he wasn't reluctant on joining this channel. So that's wonderful. So welcome to the A team, Earthling. and we appreciate you. Yeah.
We really do appreciate it. Just hit the 40-minute mark on the show.
Woo.
That'll do it for us, Boy Green. We did the show in the huddle over the summer together, but since we were
Yes, a lot of
co-hosting it,
fun.
I never asked you the signature question I ask every one of my
Oh,
guests.
okay. All right.
4 dinner guests, anyone in the world,
Ooh.
dead or
Oh,
alive.
wow.
Who are you
Dead
taking?
or alive?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And this is not just a football thing. It's an anything thing.
Yes. A family, it could be football, it could be anything.
Okay, you said 4 people I get.
4 people.
Not including myself.
Yeah, not including yourself.
So it's a fivesome. Oh, okay.
Yes,
I'm just making sure I understand the rules. Don't want to be breaking any rules here. Wow. Okay. Man, I should have been prepared for this. So let's see. People. Oh boy. Okay. All right. 4 people. Man, I can pick a lot of people. This is my Mount Rushmore people that I want. I feel like I almost have to include Connor. Do you count as half a person? I mean, not you're taller than me, so I'm the one probably should be cracking jokes. I'm the one that's a quarter. That I guess I got to do that math. Anywho, let me see here. 4 people. Come on, how can it not be? I've not had the pleasure. I know Jake has. I'm sure, obviously, other people. Joe Namath would have to be at that table.
Yes.
Joe Namath would find me so annoying with all the questions and everything that I'd be interrogating him on his life and everything. So hopefully one day I get to interview him. Like Joe Namath, that would be terrific. How can you not have Joe Namath there? For sure. I have to put, especially for Ricky New York, Curtis Martin, man. He's one of the greatest, classiest individuals I've never met in person, but have just known tangentially through other people. And I've seen the football life on him and everything. Curtis Martin seems like one of the greatest human beings of all time. How does Curtis Martin not make it there? Another guy is I throw Adam Sandler in there. He's a Jet fan and I grew up on him. All of the movies he watches, the movies I watch with my parents, so it brought us closer together. So Adam Sandler, Jets guy, Jets tangent, so that kind of works with the room that I'm bringing in. So he's there, and then Dead or Alive. I know the 4th person. It's Chris Farley, baby. Unfortunately, passed away far too soon. The greatest movie of all time. And Connor, if you haven't seen it yet, you have to ask your dad if you're allowed to watch it because you're going to have to get some permission to go into that movie theater. But Tommy Boy is the greatest movie of all time. It's one of the most quotable movies of all time. It's Chris Farley. It's David Spade. Do it. Just do it. That's you're like, oh, what's homework this week, Dad? Film study. Tommy Boy. That's it. Did I catch a 9er in there? You don't even know what that means. But yes, Tommy Boy. So Chris Farley is one of the funniest people of all time. How could he not be at that table? So I got 2 comedians that have, like, I don't think Chris Farley had anything related to the Jets, but still he's funny. Have Chris Farley, have Adam. Yeah, he was more Bears doing that whole SNL
Yes.
skit.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
So we get a little bit of Jet that action, some players, just the perfect, and then just great food, great conversation. That'd be terrific. And hopefully a camera on us. I'd be like, hey, Boy Green Daily. And then we get that in. That would be terrific. So those 4, boom, lock it in and send it in. Yeah.
Absolutely. One more quick thing here before we end.
Sure.
$10 super chat from Mike D is nuts. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great work, guys. Go Jets.
Do you have like a video to play when this happens?
No, I have a little sound bite there. I don't have a.
I heard it.
Yes. Yeah. I'll try to get a little video as the show progresses with the monetization stuff. Yes. Nice. Absolutely. But Boy Green, 45-minute mark now, 43 and a half. Appreciate you joining us here. Any final thoughts?
Well, Mike D's Nuts, thank you for sharing your love here on Connor's channel. Appreciate it. I met a lot of people, like Weed Man was another person I met.
Yes.
Wow, that guy. Let me just
I was next to you when that happened.
Let me just say this. I think I've said this I don't know if I ever said it on air yet, but I'll tell you this. Sometimes, I definitely did not say this on air, so this is going to be the first time. I've told this to other people, though.
You told me
sometimes
this.
you see, like Connor Long, you're a perfect example, right? I've seen your virtual face and I'm like, I wonder what Connor's going to be like in person. No idea. Is he going to be the same guy? Is he going to be a little shy? Is it going to be a little explosive? I have no idea. I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure. Johnny Boy, not sure. Uncle VR, I don't know what that's going to be. You want to know one person that I had a pretty strong inkling? I thought I knew the craziness that was going to be there and lived exactly up to it. That is Weed Man, wherever you are. When I said, wow, Weed Man, I think I know what this guy is. And booyah, it was Weed Man. I was like, geez, hello. This is him. No impersonation happening here. I was like, wow. He looks like the sound, the voice, all of it was all together in a package. So I would just say sometimes you don't know, but Connor, sometimes you do. So it was terrific. So just final thoughts is the fans. Obviously, without the fans, the super chat that Mike D's Nets just threw out there in the universe, or a Sharif, a membership joining. And I could smell the food. That smells terrific. I'm getting distracted like an animal. Oh. Anywho, but no, the point is that without the fans, none of this is possible. And it sounds cheesy and maybe cliche and what have you, but that's the awesome sauce. So I can't wait to do more of these tailgates in the future. Hopefully we could get all kinds of wonderful content creators together to do this in the future, because it's just awesome. And it's something I'm looking forward to doing next year, and hosting like a massive like Boy Green tailgate.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going through all the details now of all that together, and that's going to be awesome. So shout out to the fans. That's where I'd like to put a bow on it.
Absolutely. It was great meeting all you guys. Just a few names: Hawk, Knobcraft.
Oh, Hawk, yes, of course.
Knobdeep, Bonesy, Rat Diddy, Jaden,
Bonesy.
everyone.
Oh, Rat Diddy, that's another good one. Yep.
Everyone, a lot of people were there. It was great. Great to finally meet all you guys, Boy Green. I don't know if it was for you, but before that happened, the only two listeners I met Chef Kevin and Nate at a training camp practice this summer.
Oh, I've never met Chef Kevin, and I never met Nate until I met Nate at the tailgate on Thursday. So I'm trying to think, was there any other one I had met? Oh, no. So, no. I mean, Jake Asman and Matt I met, but I didn't see either of them. Matt was doing his own watch party thing, and then Jake was at a different tailgate, so we never connected. He was doing something else. But no, I had never really met, outside of locally here. There's some people here that live in the Syracuse area that know I do Jets, and thus they know me that way. But no, I can't think of one. I'm probably blowing somebody, and I apologize, but I can't remember off the top of my head someone that was just like a Boy Green Daily fan that I just kind of ran into out and about.
Yes.
So it was a blitzkrieg though. When I showed up at 5, it was like, Paul! And I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Johnny boy, boo, 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 boo. I was like, Snowball, hello. Oh, hello. And it was just like a boom, an explosion of pow, pow, pow. And I was just like, whoa, hey now. And I was but I kept just trying to take a second to take it all in, because it's crazy. It's awesome. It was amazing. I just tried to be very present in the moment. So we took pictures on the phone, and I put the phone back in the pocket. I'm like, I'll upload photos and videos and do all that later. Let me just be in the moment.
Yes.
So that was crazy. It was like blitzkrieging a meeting, all these people for the first time 10, 15 times in a row of boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, holy crap, boom, boom, and try to have some conversations with people, because normally it's like, Jets, Boy Green. I'm like, hello, whoever you are. And then next person, Boy Green again.
Yeah.
So I tried to every once in a while pull someone and said, oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, and I kind of talk to some people. So yeah, but it was intense. It was awesome.
Absolutely. It was an absolute blast. We do appreciate everyone joining us here on this Saturday morning. Make sure you smash that like button. You are subscribed to both channels. Boy Green's, of course, at BoyGreen25. Mine at NYFlyJets. Connor Long of Jets X Factor. Boy Green of Heavy.com. Signing off here on this Saturday. JETS, 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 Jets.